Alright guys, welcome back. So if you remember, we had a box trigger here and I've deleted the box trigger because we use the level blueprints to actually create some code for the box trigger. Now there's many ways to write code for objects in Unreal. The one we use right now is the level blueprint. So in the level blueprint we basically took a reference to that box trigger and then we ran some code on it. But there's another way to do this, right? There's another way to kind of create our own actors. And what are actors, right? All of these things here are actors. An actor is something you can place in a level. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own actor with an associated blueprint. Think of it as a static mesh or a bunch of static meshes with some code attached to it, right? That's the best way to think of an actor. So I'm going to right click here in the blueprints folder. I'm going to press blueprint class and I'm going to click on actor. Now what is a blueprint class? Unreal gives us the ability to have to create things from many different types of classes that it has. So you can create a pawn, a character, and I'll come to all of this later. But what we want right now is an actor. It's the base class for an object that can be placed or spawned in a level. So I'm going to click on actor, right? And I'm going to call this fire spawner, right? So this is now an object that we can place in the level. So I'm going to drag this and place it here. So I'm just going to press play, and as you can see, you can't see the object yet because this is just the root. This is where the base location and rotation of the object is. So I'm going to double click this. Right, this actor has nothing. Right, unlike the level blueprint where you just saw the event graph. As you can see, there's an actor event begin overlap. One thing I need to tell you about this event graph versus the event graph of the level blueprint is that you can do pretty much the same thing. You can run code for collision on this actor from the level blueprint, but you could also run it from the blueprint of the actor itself. It's actually smarter to do it from the blueprint of the actor itself, so the level blueprint is uncluttered. This is a good way to do it. There's actually a third way to do it too, to run code. We're not going to go into that right now, but these two, which is running from the level blueprint and running from the actual blueprint of the actor, both are important. Now, unlike the level blueprint, there are two other things here. One is the viewport, which is, what does the actor look like? And then there's the construction script, which is, well, what code do you run just before the actor is created? Now, we don't need the construction script right now. This is good, if you want to, run some code even before an actor is spawned. So I'm going to just close that. And in our viewport, we're going to add some components. So I want to teach you two things, right? I want to teach you the difference between a collision and a hit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a component. I'm going to add a box collision, right? So this is a nice little box collision. As you can see, that's added. And it's added under the default scene root. In fact, you can just drag this and you can replace the default scene root because we don't need that random thing telling us what to do in life, right? So as you can see, there are some details panel here. You can edit the box trigger the way you see it fit. And we don't need this right now. We don't need any of these things right now. This is just a visual representation of what the actor looks like. So in the event graph, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same event actor begin overlap. I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to print string, and I'm going to say hello meta. Right? Exact same thing as we did last time, except it's not being called from the level blueprint. It's being called from the actor blueprint. Right? So I'm going to press play. And as soon as I go on it, as you can see on the left, it's a little hard to see, but you see hello meta. Right? There's an actor there and there's a hello meta there. Where's that? It's somewhere in the middle. Yep, there it is. Right? So same thing's happening as last time, which is wonderful for us. And it's happening through the actor blueprint. So our level blueprint is uncluttered. So I'm going to double click this. And when you double click this, you see that this is an actor begin overlap, right? So where does the overlap happen? It happens on this box. It happens on the biggest collision box that the actor has. But like I've told you before, you can add multiple components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add component, and I'm going to click on sphere. Right? It's got this base material, but I'm going to click on sphere. I'm going to move this up. Let's just make new root. Right? So we've got a sphere, right? And this is now it's something we can see and touch and feel, and it still has a box trigger, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually delete the box trigger, right? So, just saving everything, and the event graph still has an on actor begin overlap, right? I'm going to play this, and let me just move that up a little bit. So when we play this, it's a nice little sphere, but when I run into it, nothing happens. There's no hello meta. What is going on? Well, the reason for this is because unlike a collision box, which you can overlap on, this sphere in our viewport is actually solid, right? And solid objects cannot be, you cannot have a begin overlap on it. You can collide with it, and a collision with a solid object is called a bump or a hit, right? So instead of actor begin overlap, we're going to use something else called hit. We're just going to look for hit, and on an event hit, and this is something different, it's new, right? So let me just move this away, and let me press Alt. When you hold Alt, you can cut off an execution pin if you're holding Alt on your keyboard. So let this be somewhere around. It's like unused code. And I'm going to drag this execution pin. So if something hits the ball, then you print hello meta. All right, so let's play this. And if I hit the ball, as you can see, it's hello meta. And you remember with the actor, let me just show you that actually. Remember the actor begin overlap? It only runs once when you begin for the first time when you do the overlap. But event hit, as long as you're hitting or you've hit the object, it will continuously run, which is why you see it's not just one message that pops up, it's multiple messages that pop up, right? You can hit it as many times as you want. It's just going to keep running, right? So that's the difference between hit and overlap, and I wanted to totally understand that. In fact, I can have a sphere and I can add a component which is, just call it a collision. I can add a sphere collision, so I can actually have both of these at the same time. Where's the sphere collision? Right, I can actually have both these at the same time. I'm not able to see the sphere collision. Let's see. Let's make this 100. Yep. So I can actually have both of these at the same time. You see this? I just increase the sphere radius, and that way you can actually have both collision as well as hit work. The hit will never run until you get right next to the box. So let's do that, right? Let's say actor begin overlap, and this is going to trigger the collision box, right? And let's just say print overlap happened. Okay, very, very important to know this. Actually, let's move this in the same line as everything else. Overlap happened, and this we can say hit happened. Very important to know the difference between the two. Save it, press play, right? So hit happened, right? Because I went too close, but I went to the sphere, and as you can see, overlap happened, and now hit happened, right? So you see, there's that thing outside, this sphere collision, which is causing the overlap happen, and this which is causing the hit happen. Very important to know the difference. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I am just going to delete the event hit for now, and let's just play with the actor event begin overlap. And in fact, in the next episode, we're going to make this a little interesting and run some more code to kind of affect the player. Catch you in the next one.